Cash and the ticket is yours. Cash and the ticket is yours. Yo. Cash and the ticket is yours. Cash and the ticket is yours. Cash and the ticket is yours. Yo. Cash and the ticket is yours. Yours.
This is just an absolute treat. These players are so damn good.
The talent on these teams is undeniable. Everybody on every team right now is making plays.
It's going to be an exciting start to the season, and it'll just get better from here on out.
We're about to step to a whole new era of Overwatch esports. So much exciting action is happening here on CGL that you do not want to miss. Look who's starting it all off, it's Raven.
No one necessarily figure out what is the right way to go just yet.
What a nice roll through from Peyton. It's just gonna solidify everything for Mythos.
Does come back, and Arsario gets the mech, but I don't need a mech. I'll kill 4 anyway.
This is just a highlight reel for Arsario right now.
They're making a statement in the EU Masters here.
This patch is still incredibly fresh. There's so much to learn, so much to change about the way we play the game.
NKC, but the shatter is colossal.
Let's get it going.
Trades keep coming through. Laura, is he gonna be able to find these shots true?
Idu on the overclock with 2.
Here comes the Nabla immediately goes back to fine skills, slicing and dicing their way through 2, 3, so back and forth.
And welcome everybody for some more CGL action. We are getting ourselves ready for the NA Open tier. We have the Dazzling Diamonds coming up against Tarnished in this first to 3. Excited to see how the cards fall. We are just coming off of the throes of mid-season playoffs or mid-season bracket, so we have some stuff to talk about. I'm Mott, joined by the wonderful Big Sam, and we are happy to cover this match for you guys tonight.
Been a mid-season tournament was fun. Now we get back into the grind. It's more or less the teams that weren't in it got eliminated. How are they going to respond? The teams that were in it did well. You know they got a target on their back, so it's going to be interesting to see how these teams are going to move forward, setting up for the grand finals we're going to have in a couple of weeks.
Yeah, and speaking of the grand finals, you know, playoffs is very much on the horizon for all of our divisions, all the way from Plat up to the Open tier. And it's very much based in the points you garner, of course, coming in from like map wins and match wins itself. Also, our top, I believe our top 2 or top 3 in those mid-season brackets also got a little bit of points added to their records. I want to say first got 3, second got 1, and then like I think third got half a point. I have to double check on that. But there was really good incentives for winning that mid-season bracket. So if you're the winner of those mid-season brackets, you're kind of chilling right now in standings, right? You're kind of like, we're solidified in playoffs, at least point-wise, between match and match wins and map wins as well. Dazzling Diamonds and Tarnished coming back off of that mid-season period. Let's get into the nitty-gritty. It's a whole new week, a whole new vibe, whole new everything. Looks like Antarctic Peninsula should be our first match of the week here for Control. Yes, it is. Oh, you know what I love about my producer is that they put the map in the background so I know what's going on. So very much appreciated. And our Peninsula, don't really see that often. So Big Sam, what can we possibly see, you know, comp-wise and idea-wise going into the Peninsula?
So it depends on the bands. It's going to happen right there. But you can always see a Pharah come in. Or you have high grounds, you always have that Ash, Widow, Ana, sniping kind of thing. For tanks, you can see Ramatra get played. You can see Ryan get played. You could see Ball come out, Winston come out. So with the high ground and the low ground, it's one of those, and then the one area where it's like all condensed, it's one of those like, it could be Brawl, it could be Dive. And honestly, you can almost play anything on these maps.
Oh, 100%. But I do think that your idea of the Ram, the Rhine, I think that does kind of go into more of a brawlier lifestyle that I think Antarctic Peninsula does offer to the highest degree, right? So we might see that, or maybe an Orisa, maybe something like that, and come to fruition. The Soldier and Freya, even a Tracer, Kiri, Wu Yang, Lucio is kind of what I'm expecting to see pretty much all throughout all 3 sub-maps of Antarctic Peninsula. But Dazzling Diamonds does have the first ban under their belt, and we're already coming down to the wire of exactly what are we going to ban here? You know, people have been kind of defaulting to a Zarya or a Reaper ban to mitigate that team up, or I don't want to say team up, but you know, that kind of synergy between the tank and the DPS line. But again, anything is genuinely open here.
It is. The thing with Zarya is the Zarya grab, unless it's a diva can eat it, that grab can literally just get like one support, two supports, can get 1 or 2 DPS, or can get a brawly style comp, or even can do it at an off angle if a team's like poking, like at a high ground kind of shot. So the Zarya grab is one of those, unless you have a diva that can eat it, it can literally win you a fight by itself. You combo it. If you do combo it, you got 2 ults and you win a team fight. But the way the supports are playing, you usually have 1 or 2 support ults that'll counter it, so we'll see what happens.
Yeah, and just like as we predicted, right, the Zarya is going to be the ban of choice from the Dazzling Diamonds. And again, it mitigates her overall pressure, her overall performance right now on the tank role. It mitigates the Reaper and Zarya composition. Also, I would say to an extent, the Zarya and Genji can kind of, fulfill the same purpose together. So I think the Zarya ban very, very strong here. The Gravitons you were talking about absolutely can, in fact, and have been in the past, game-changing, game-winning ultimates, especially if you don't have a Kiriko for the Suzu or anything like that. So on that note, I kind of expect that to be the case here from Tarnished. They could go for an early Kiriko ban here and force things like a Bap Lucio, forcing like a Juno Brig, but not going to see it. Going to be the Venture being taken out of the count today. So Zarya, no Venture to be seen, and I do really like the Venture pick here from Tarnished because they are so oppressive on on the Flashpoint and Control map specifically.
The Venture one really stunned me a little bit because I was not expecting Venture. The Reaper's been played a lot, but I can, like, on these maps, if you're going to play Reaper, more than likely the other team's going to run a far and they're going to force the Reaper to swap to a hit scan like a Sojourn. I've seen some Sojourns pop off, Soldier to counter it, so it's going to be interested to see the first 10 picks or so to see who's going to run what and who's going to try to dictate the pace of the game.
Absolutely. And let's start talking about exactly who is going into these matches. We have our 10 opening lineups, Dazzling Diamonds on the top and Tarnished on the bottom. Let's talk about what we might see here. I see some favorite picks here. You see the Freya from Sauce. You also see the Tracer from Void Bloom. Also the Wuyong and Lucio backline of Deathly and Broshak. Dullish, I mean, if I see Reinhardt today, it's a good day for Mana Nation out there, right? Tarnished, however, they have some very similar and different things here, right? The Tracer, Wuyong, and Lucio are all favorites between Yuri, Kylo, and Levia, but Reveroni on that Cassidy favorite. I am looking respectfully. I think Cassidy could be an amazing addition for Tarnished if they want to run out on a Pika Pepper. No Zarya for you today, bestie, but I'm overly confident that there's definitely something else that he can pick up in the meantime, especially to maybe mitigate whatever Dullish might want to procure in Arctic Peninsula.
I'm looking at some of the teams in the lineups right here. I'm thinking, so say Dionysus, if I said it right. I figured that's going to be your flyer, the Freya / Echo / Farah. So I figured that's going to be the first kind of big domino for me to figure out what direction I'm going to go with. Dullish is more or less happy on the Rhine, so I could see like a Rhine brawl, maybe like a Far Mercy, Echo Mercy in the sky, Freya in the sky, trying to do that and trying to go damage along with the Rhine swinging and Tracer come around, up in the back line. So it's going to be interesting to see how this works out.
Oh, even more interesting, we actually have a substitution coming in. So Amnesia will be the one coming through, and Apollo also swapping into that support role. So the dynamic, I feel like, has really changed, especially, again, given the favorite heroes. I love to kind of think about, what can we run with people's favorite heroes. Winston and Ana, very much a peanut butter and jelly type of composition. Cannot have one without the other. But that's enough yapping from us. Let's get into the actual game. And you know what? I'm not going to tell you enough yapping. I'm a liar. We're going to talk even more about Inara Peninsula, about the sub-level of this objective, right? So we have Dullish walking over on the Ramatra so far. Amnesia hovering over Orisa. Either way, still waiting on a couple other players to lock and load what they think might work on the lab here, but I'm expecting to see, honestly, I might just be seeing Yuri back on that Tracer, possibly.
Yeah, Tracer is one of the OG, it was what the first OG hard carries in Season 1 when the game dropped in 2016. A lot of Tracer players have come and go, and it's one of those staple comfort picks that if you're a DPS player, sooner or later you've picked up Tracer and played Tracer in a game. So a lot of people that play Tracer, a lot of them play her at very high levels.
Oh, for sure. But as much as we want Theorycraft, as much as, you know, we were kind of hoping for the Tracer, Yuri instead goes to the other, I would say, ideally, other flex DPS that you do see people play, and that's going to be the Genji instead. So with that being said, Dazzling Diamonds are being pushed heavily far back, kind of on their own staircase, and you can see Tarnished going around, pinching them from the front and the back. So as Dionysus goes down first, and Deathly Fox after the fact to Amnesia on this Orisa. You can see Dazzling Diamonds are a tiny bit separated. No Kiriko on the field here, so at some point, the healing output will be too much for Broshak to bear. And Tarnished not only get the fight win, they're going to get even a stagger onto Void Bloom at the same time.
That was a huge stagger for Void Bloom as they get the Tarnished now starts the percentage at 7%. It's going to be interesting to see the Ramattra versus Orisa play, because you get the Ramattra wants to go in there and get in your face, brawl, where Orisa's more or less poke, but could also not really brawl, but do massive damage when you least expect it. And if both supports keep the tanks up, it's going to be who can outplay who gets better positioning versus who.
Oh, 100%. And I love that Tarnished is kind of meeting Dazzling Diamonds on this high ground here. And Void Bloom actually gets his headshot onto Apollo. But even though she does get the headshot, even though she does get the opening pick here, it's going to be 2-3 going down for Dazzling Diamond, forcing us to go for a quick little pause here as requested by Tarnished by Apollo. Might have been maybe a little bit of DC, maybe a stagger out moment, maybe a lag out moment. But either way, we're back to us for a second, and I am loving this composition from Tarnished so far. It is working so favorably for their playstyle with an Orisa, with the Ana and Lucio in the back. I think they're doing really well so far.
Yeah, it's one of those where the Lucio is speed boosting in, the Ana can stay back, the Ana can heal from an angle, and nade also. And then when you least expect, the Genji can come around and dash behind them, and if it cleans up kills, the dash resets, and you turn around and dash again. And the Orisa can steadily spear, she can javelin spear into the Genji dash, and for like a quick, like that, get a kill. And so the Genji dive in the backline is one of the OGs of the game, but it's one of the most high. If you master Genji, you can pull off some insane combos and get insane damage off and insane cleanup. That's how they got their first 2 team fights right there. And I believe it was 3-1, 4-1 before the pause button. Apollo with the Ana went down.
Yeah. Void Bloom got rid of Apollo on Ana, and then I think Amnesia and basically the rest of the team of Tarnished kind of just walked anyway. They were like, yeah, we're down our Ana, it's fine, it is what it is, ain't what it ain't, we're gonna just clean up the rest of the fight. And like you said, it was a 3-on-1 trade in favor of Tarnished. You know, losing your Ana, still getting 3 kills anyway after the fact. I think also Apollo was able to throw in an anti-nade prior to being eliminated by the Void Bloom, the Mei secondary fire, the Icicle. So with that being said, there is a slight DC happening from Tarnished. Not sure which player it is, but hopefully they get back in really quickly. It happens, you know, servers have been a little bit wonky as of late, so it is what it is. Hopefully they come back easily, and hopefully they don't lose too much ult charge as well, at the same time. So thankfully we do get word we're going for an unpause, so we're going to get off of our faces, back over to our teams, and we're back in the fray. It was in fact Apollo who did unfortunately disconnect, so that's kind of what I was looking for, because Void Bloom got the kill immediately after Apollo asked for a pause.
Yeah, even with all that being said, Tarnished is at 50% right here. Dazzling Diamonds just got the first ult up. So I'm looking to see Dazzling Diamonds has got to figure, like, how do we get a pick? What can we do to get some momentum going? What could we do? Any idea? You can brawl, and the Lucio beat drop can save you for at least a little bit.
Oh, it has to save against the Dragon Blade, which Yuri is going to be able to use, and of course Broshak finds it within himself to proc the sound barrier early enough. But the pressure does kind of falter onto Broshak, as we do see the Lucio get completely mitigated away from the engagement Void Room, once again popping off, finding at least one elimination to trade off for the side of Dazzling Diamonds before inevitably, I'm pretty sure Tarnished will be able to find the fight win here, finding the last little bit of eliminations onto Dullish, onto Broshak, quickly scouting out Void Bloom, trying to hide away, and with only 8% left to completion of the first objective, Pika Pepper goes in for an aggressive sound barrier, and the continued rush coming from Deathly Fox. I don't think there's anyone that can go for a touch. Absolutely not. What a front force we were seeing from Tarnished.
Yeah, that was a good team fight win. Good fight win for Tarnished. But right then and there, it was just this. They're kind of like stagger picks. Like we get a pick, and then like 5 to 10 seconds later, a second pick, and so on and so forth. So it's almost like Dazzling Diamonds is almost always at a disadvantage. Or if they do get a pick, it's like R1 to your 3 or 4. And it's like steadily trickulating in, and it's like not really fully engaging. So heads off to Tarnished with their callouts, their picks. Like they're just methodically like, how can we dissect this team, get these team fight wins and engagements?
Yeah, it's gonna be a difficult one, you know, and for good reason. You know, the Orisa so good into their mantra, which is why you're seeing Delich actually swap off of the character, go over to mirror Orisa here at the same time. Also, the Wu Yang and Lucio coming through from Dazzling Diamonds, and we still see Turner stick with it and keep all their toes on the floor with the Ana and the Lucio. And with that being said, Reveroni popping off gets a little bit of a headshot onto Deathly Fox, which basically sends this entire team fight to moot against Dazzling Diamonds. Tarnished takes the win here very early on, and they're gonna get the second objective opened up and in their favor very early.
There it opened up, and Amnesia got I don't know if it's a headshot or a javelin, but it got Roshak down. And then Reveroni took down Deathly Fox, and then it's just one right behind the other. One thing with Tracer is there's the smallest health pool of all the DPSs, and once that went down, it was just another snowball. Is now they're re-engaging. Tarnished is 20% on the cap.
Sure are, and you're right. Bloom does, in fact, have this smallest amount of HP available to her, and when you have your recall force out early like that, Yuri could, in fact, have gotten the elimination, but thankfully, the blink to the mini pack does save Bloom's life over a little bit longer here. Tarnished, however, you can see Amnesia is super low on the objective, actually going to be completely giving the point back over to Dazzling Diamonds. So this could be a really good way to stabilize themselves on this objective if they want to, but the re-engagement is definitely not lost on me, as Tarnished now re-engaged with a nano boost onto Amnesia, who, mind you, not only bully the Diamonds off of the point and flip it under their noses, but also has now garnered a terror surge, which will get procced here. The title blast from Deathly Fox, though, will be the kicker to make sure Tarnished do not get any more advantage over the Dazzling Diamonds.
And even in that time, it flipped back to Tarnished, or went back to Dazzling Diamonds. Amnesia, I like the kind of right there, try to get the tank or try to get something, but it was just like the health pool just kept going downhill, where you didn't pump, where you forces into keep Orisa up. But hats off to Dazzling Diamonds, way to come back, way to get some them going, and seeing they're stabilizing right now.
And they had to stabilize, because this is the closest we've gotten between Dazzling Diamonds and Tarnished. What a... Okay, Voidbloom almost didn't have the blink to get herself back on the objective, but then gets a stick onto Pika Pepper anyway. So it's a very wonderful trade. You want to know why it's even better? It's because Pika Pepper had the loss of the sound barrier and isn't able to use it, but Yuri instead still goes in with the blade anyway, gets rid of the Wu Yang, forcing Broshak to come in with the sound barrier either way for Dazzling Diamonds. And now that Pika Pepper has now sped up from that spawn room, from initially being picked off from the pulse bomb, that's going to be an opening for Tarnished to not only continue the fight, but also use the sound barrier to stay alive longer and flip the point back really quickly.
Yeah, that was a good, like, drawn-out team fight where Dazzling Diamonds was like, let's get as much on tick on the point as we can. Now it's 67 to 60, so it's right there. I'm assuming you're going to have 1 to 2 team fights left. I'm interested to see when the Freya's going to ult, and when Dolish is going to ult right here as well. Versus Reveroni has had ult for a while for the Hanzo, and there it comes.
Love the blade on the Dragon Strike there, actually, as it does kind of separate the front line from the back line a tiny bit, even more so separating Deathly Fox from the rest of the team here. And honestly, at that point, everyone else has now been basically obliterated in the engagement. Back to the spawn room we go. Void Room breaking some ankles against the Genji. Can we do it even longer? Great recall, and we blink to safety.
And Tracer was like, I'm yeeting out of here. Tried to yeet and try to get the health packs as fast as possible. As now it's a 96%, so this is it for Dazzling Diamonds if they want to try to cap this.
Oh, so Dionysus comes in with a beautiful headshot to Apollo. Can we keep up the momentum? Can we keep it up for Dazzling Diamonds as Dionysus once again gets another elimination, but they're completely traded out with Amnesia getting not 1 but 2 but 3. 2 in neutral, 1 with an elimination, 1 with the ultimate, and the pulse bomb is completely tanked by the Orisa, and just like that, the blade to show for it. Yuri helps get Tarnished the win here, and there is 1 point on the board already in the first to 3.
Yeah, that was a kind of unique engagement where it looked like looks like Tarnished was not going to win that, and then all of a sudden, like they were down 2 people, and all of a sudden they got 3 or 4 picks straight back. So hats off at the end of this. The Terror Surge really, you see how powerful it is as an old people are grouped around you. It's 6 people in you, so good solid play right there, and it opened up everything for Tarnished to win that round and go up 1-0.
No, for sure. Tarnished really showcased kind of just their a little bit of mechanical difference, right? With an Orisa, with playing almost a mirrored match, save for I think the Genji and the Tracer, right? That was the only really real big difference. Also the Ana, I think, was so impactful from Apollo more often than not. Antinade was so good because there wasn't really a consistent force to mitigate an Antinade. There was no Kiriko, there was nothing like that being played from either team here. So you're overly relying on a full disengage after an Antinade, or you kind of gotta hold that, and you gotta hope that you're not the target of choice. And 9 times out of 10, you usually are if you're antied without a Suzu to help you out, without immortality food at least to mitigate that kind of damage output from the Antinade, right? So really well done from Tarnished. Really interesting backline, I would say. The Ana and the Lucio not really played all that often in the high level, because it's so like one's slow, one's fast. Your Lucio can't always protect your Ana the same way a Brigitte can, and you know, it's the fact that they're able to make that kind of work, that synergy work, is very impressive, especially on control of all things.
Yeah. I like Ana. Ana's really the hero. Her
Oh,
kid's
yeah.
really powerful, but it's just that mobility. Like, you're used to a Mercy just flying around the map. Lucio is just wall riding everywhere. Kiriko is just jumping around. So it's like, it's a lot of times and like very fast comps or like very fast engagements that Ana is such a kill. Like, she's so slow. But if you play her right, good right position, good mechanics, she can literally disrupt a lot of things on the other team's trying to do.
Oh, 100%. Same thing with Yuri on that Genji. Same thing with Amnesia on that Orisa. But we finally have our next map. We're going to, excuse me, wow. We're going to go over to Push. We're going over to New Queen Street to the beautiful city of Toronto, seeing exactly how this match might end up in the next 10 minutes. As you know, 10-minute map is always going to be Push. So this is very different. It's very interesting because Orisa can absolutely still be played here. So is she a real ban that could come out? Oh, 100% from Dazzling Diamonds. If they wanted to, which of course they do have, I believe, a ban here, they should be able to look at the idea, right? Do we want to ban out the Genji? Do we want to ban out maybe the Orisa? Might be some 2 really good options. Tarnished, though, I think they kind of have the world is kind of their oyster right now. They're looking really good. They're coming into the second match off of a 2-0 win on our peninsula. So if I'm Tarnished, I'm really confident that regardless of what Dazzling Diamonds wants to ban out here, we can be flexible. We can find something to help alleviate a ban of some sort.
Yeah. Oh, when it comes to the bans in this right here, more likely it's usually raw, little die, not really a pokey style. I can see Orisa getting banned / played, but I'm expecting like Ryan duels right here. As for the bans, you know, Weeyong is super strong. Weeyong is super strong, so I can see Weeyong ban. I can see as high ground as like there's no real like high groundish. I can see a flyer like Echo or Far dominate, so I see one of them getting banned. And if it's long light sides, you get long sight lines, you could see a Widow possibly get played or get banned right here. And the Venture's banned.
Oh yeah, we had the Venture ban a little bit earlier as well, but we can't repeat ban, so Tarnished cannot go for the Venture this time, and that's kind of worries me a little bit, especially on Serve also, for example, if we go to Flashpoint. So with that being said, Tarnished will be banning out first, and you know, we're just kind of waiting it out, right? Again, I can mention we can always go for a brawl. We can have the Ramacha come back. We can also have the Orisa. We can have the Reinhardt. We can have a ban on a flyer. Because I do believe you in the sense that Farah is a pretty solid character on New Queen Street. But I think your next prediction of the Weeyong was in fact the correct one, as Tarnished decided to take the character out immediately, and for good reason. Weeyong Kiri, Weeyong Lucio, very synergized backline right now.
Yeah. That's the one thing with a lot of smart teams, including when Al was going on, was the backlines. If your backline was just synergy, your backline was so into one another, it was so hard to win games. a good support player, if they shot, because normally your shot callers are your supports, so it's kind of interesting to see because they see everything from the backs, from their point of view going forward. So it's going to be interesting to see how the support lines are going to do, especially with Wu Young band right here.
Or they're coming with their own ball ban, right? And that makes sense. So again, ball is kind of in that sphere, literally, of starting to rise up again in the greater tank lineups. You know, we just saw ball also in our pro plays in OWCS. We've been seeing ball in other tournaments as well. So with that being said, Dazzling, I like the ball ban a lot. I do think ball can kind of be a problem in Queen Street and push in general. Honestly, is a lot. I think where ball does like to remain, look great on Rusapi, looks great on New Queen Street, looks great on anywhere you want to put them. So the ball ban, I definitely understand it, and it does leave all of the DPS open. You know, you can see a Soj, you can see a Freya once again, which we did see from Dazzling Diamonds. Dionysus, I believe, was the one that was really starting to build up the momentum in the later half of Anonic Peninsula. So to an extent, I do think that we might see Freya come back in the fray, literally in the fray here. Tricks! Not for kids. Coming over to substitute in the DPS side of things for the Dazzling Diamonds. At the very least, Tarnished looks like they're going to keep their starting lineup of Amnesia, Reveroni, Yuri, Apollo, and Pika Pepper. For the side of Dazzling Diamonds, everyone else is staying in. Tricks, nice to meet you. I better see you Genji today.
I'm interested to see with Deathly Fox, if Wu Young is not big, they're going to go to. So it's going to be interesting to see what the strategy is going to be. Figure out what the two team compositions are going to be. Like I said, I'm assuming we're probably going to see Ryan v Ryan Brawl, but I could, and actually, Zarya Reaper could be played.
That's what I'm kind of betting on too, is like Zarya Reaper coming back. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, boom, and nothing. Yes, go give me nothing. I'm kidding. We have General Queen coming out from Dulwich and Amnesia on Winston. So at least one of these people are on their favorite characters, that being the Winston and the Ana. I was talking about how these two together is like peanut butter and jelly, the filling to your Oreo, everything like that. They are inseparable, and I cannot wait to see how these dives, along with everyone on Soldier, might work together. Dazzling Diamonds coming up on the Venture from Dionysus. Also Tricks on Genji as predicted. So double flex backline, or double flex DPS line from Dazzling Diamonds with the Joker Queen, which we don't really see all that often anymore. But the Rampage against this team will be enough. Yuri, a little bit behind, but your Tracer, you'll be there just in time.
Yeah, the Tracer can just blink, 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 and then get ready as the team is scouting. Amnesia are taking heavy damage right here, but Riveroni's dishing out lots of damage. Right now, both teams trying to size each other up, and I'm interested to see how the Venture's going to play after getting banned from last map.
I mean, Dionysus just came in with a beautiful 2K, pretty much with the Venture, and of course the Engage started off with Tricks dashing onto Pika Pepper, and pretty much once you don't have your Pika Pepper, the speed boost is not really a factor for Tarnished anymore. Again, Yuri was a little bit far behind in that engagement, so maybe that's something to be mentioned just to put it out there. But Tarnished, I mean, they're coming back, and Amnesia just kind of looks at Broshak, and then Deathly Fox goes down right after the fact in that Kiriko. So suddenly, as quickly as they did lose that first fight, we're losing or winning the second one almost immediately after.
Yeah, it's like they kind of saw what they were trying to do, and Tarnished was like, okay, I think we can get him right here. I think we can do this. Looks like we have a swap. Yuri goes to the Genji from the Tracer. We have a Genji v Genji duel.
I think it's worth it. I think Yuri did kind of showcase that, you know, yeah, we are good at Genji, and definitely from our map 1 showing, right? So to mirror it out, not really too surprised. It does kind of fall down on Pika Pepper and Broshak to make sure that they have their sound barriers in time for both of the Dragon Blades at some point in that case, right? So that being said, next fight does happen, and Dazzling Diamonds, I mean, they might lose Tricks, but they're stealing the objective, and they're going to get it back to reset to the neutral part. In fact, they're gonna get a little bit of an advantage on it, and then likely gonna regroup here because Tarnished are the ones who are up in numbers, at least for now. Definitely so after the elimination onto Dionysus.
Yeah, right now it's just like a long, drawn-out team fight right here as Tarnished finally starting to pull away with the 3 picks right here, the 4 picks. It's now Dazzling Diamond is gonna get together and figure out what they need to do. It looks like you're going to have Dragon Blade come up from the side of Tricks, but also Apollo's going to have the Nano. So I wonder if they're going to try to do Nano Visor, or are they going to try to do their own Nano Blade, or just Nano the Winston and then Winston pops ult.
Ideally, yeah, and Trick should use it now because again, there's no sound barrier online for Tarnished quite yet. They're actually we're going for actually an aggressive one from Dazzling Diamonds, which, I mean, it does push Tarnished all the way back out. They're gonna be respecting the space being demanded by the Diamonds. Even more so, the Tectonic Shock comes through onto Apollo. The sleep comes by post ominously, however, but there's still gonna be a big advantage. I mean, I would say for Dazzling Diamond up until we lose Broshak and Trix, who wasn't even able to proc the Dragon Blade in time. Now it's a matter of the Genji versus the Junker Queen and the Lucio, of course. And I think Yuri might have been off a little more than he can chew. Can we get the limit onto the Queen? Well, no shadows online, so ideally this 1v1 should slowly tinker down to a 1v5 with the rest of the team trying to come back.
Yeah, right now, good stabilized.
Oh no.
By Dullish, but there's the pick, and now they come back. They did kick time off the clock, is now we're, what, 3:30 off the clock? So interested to see the first 3 minutes, 30 seconds of the game. It's been very highly contested. It's been very much back and forth. Both teams trying to one-up each other. I'm interested with these two Dragon Blades, which one pops it first, or who gets more value out of it.
Well, seeing the rush and also seeing the Dragon Blade come through, you're right. We're going to see both these things come to fruition. Yuri also mirroring Trix's own Dragon Blade. Actually finds not one, but two eliminations with one swing. Call that 2-for-1 deal. The Primal also gets expended just to kind of display Delish a little bit here. And unfortunately, Delish was unable to use the Rampage really at all.
Yeah, you got to use that Rampage. You got to get the extra shields and every stuff up there. But I like where Yuri was like, Trix popped ult, then Yuri popped ult, they would clean up next, get more picks. And you see they're almost right at double what Dazzling Diamond's percentages on their push is. You still got Reveroni and Apollo got both their ult, so you can Nano Visor if needed, just keep it.
Okay, Nanovisor does come through a tiny bit late, but better late than never, as the power of Reveroni is definitely felt by the forces of Dazzling Diamonds. I mean, the team fight pretty much was done in the first frame of that Visor coming through to fruition. Dionysus is trying to scurry away to safety, and Broshak maybe got a little bit too lost in the sauce, trying to save his own teammate, and down for the count they go. Disney Fox following right after the fact as well. Dazzling Diamond is now overly relying on just the Rampage, but Delish might actually go down before even being able to proc it in time. Yeah, that's exactly what's going to happen. Only about 10 meters, 15 meters to completion is all Tarnished needs, and if Dazzling Diamond continues to stagger into this engagement, they're never going to get the retouch.
Oh, it's just, oh, that was a huge, Yuri, just a sexy two pick right there, just dash. That was solid. It's just they're picking them up one by one, they're making them matriculate back in the fight. It's just going back and forth. Now Yuri's popping blade again. This might be it.
Oh, not even a might. This will, in fact, be it here. I mean, again, there was no clean, real regroup from Dazzling Diamonds. And honestly, for good reason. It kind of got down to the wire. And with the objective being so close to completion, someone just kind of has to touch. And at some point, that person dies, someone else has to touch, and then someone else has to touch. And it unfortunately kind of ended up being a winning factor for Tarnished to honestly just take out the win here. Great Dragon Blade here at the very end as well from Yuri. I think about four blades per attempt, which is very impressive to boot here. So with that being said, already seeing Tarnished on match point.
Yeah, it was Tarnished. It was looking like a well-oiled machine. I think Dazzling Diamonds is one of those, like, they want to win some team fights, and their best showing was like the first map. They got some of the second map where they got some of the percentage. They look good, but it was just, I think it's just one of those, like, Tarnished looks more coordinated, looks more well-oiled. It's just, I wonder if, like, Dazzling Diamonds is like, if they're getting inside their own heads, or if they're like, what if, we need extra coaching, or what are we seeing? Like, what do you think they're going to do? And honestly, Yuri on the Genji so far has been insane good. So I'm interested to see, do they ban the Genji? Do they ban when Yuri's good at? Do you try to go Zarya Reaper?
I mean, the thing about the rules between this season and last season is that now when you lose a map, you get the choice of you get to ban first, or sorry, you get to pick the map first, or you can ban first, right? I think that's kind of how it's gone. So that's why we saw Tarnished ban first last this map, even though they're the ones that won, right? So Tarnished, with that same thing in mind, Dazzling Diamonds can pick a map first, but they will not have that first ban. So Tarnished can absolutely take that to their advantage, and they can go for a DPS ban. They can kind of protect the Genji from being banned out wherever we go next, right? That being a flashpoint. Oh. The loser gets to, oh, thank you. I love my producers. Loser gets both the ability to choose map and ban order. Okay, so Dazzling Diamonds can ban first, and they should ban Genji. Okay, that's what I'm gonna say. I'm gonna completely miss my words. Pretend the last 10 seconds did not matter. They can ban Genji here if they want to go something like a flashpoint. Maybe they want to go to like an escort or a hybrid. Either one, I think, would be really good to ban out Genji, because at the very least, it can kind of even out the playing field. I think Yuri has been a pretty strong force to be reckoned with, not even just in map 1, but also in map 2. So clearly, there's kind of like almost win condition for Tarnished. Can Yuri pop off on Genji? If it's yes, likely we're chilling in that team fight.
Yeah, I'm interested to see what they're gonna do here. Figuring out. I think Dazzling Diamonds, if I was them, I would say, like, what's our comfort picks, or what do you think we could do to at least make this map competitive, but also what could we do to, you know, maybe turn the tide in our favor, let's get some momentum. What would work for us versus what would work for them? What's a comfort pick? And then if we ban this, what are we thinking? Or if we ban that, we thinking they're gonna swap to. But Dazzling Diamonds, it's just, you know, they have the chance to say, hey, we can come together, we can figure some stuff out, let's get some momentum going. Baby steps, like win your team fight, get a pick first. Then it'll start on there. It seems like for Tarnished, it's just like one pick, and then it's just a snowball, just like 3-4 picks, and they win the team fight, and it's just rinse repeat. So I think Dazzling Diamonds has got to like slow down and be like, let's just play our game, figure out what we want.
No, yeah. They gotta just figure out what they want to do, how they're gonna pretty much mitigate the momentum shift that Tarnished does kind of bring over to themselves. I feel like a lot of these fights do end up in favor of Tarnished because they just kind of, they might start off slow, but once they get the ball rolling, it becomes a snowball. It becomes like 10 times bigger than I feel like Dazzling Diamonds can handle. So with that being said, let's talk about what map we could go towards. Map number 3, match point for Tarnished, and we're gonna take it all over on New Junk City, so Flashpoint, right? And usually people want to choose either Atlas or Servos. Servos is a little bit of the more popular pick between the two, so you don't really see New Junk City get played all that often, but I think this is really interesting because New Junk City can be so hectic, especially on the arena. The first match you see, the first map, first point you see in the screen here, that part can be so devastating to play into if you're not aggressive enough, or if you are too passive. So gonna be seeing how Tarnished can kind of work that into their favor again.
Yeah, for New Junk City, the biggest thing for this map, different things, different points. The one I would look at, maybe Maga with ult to like trap him in and try to use that to get a team fight, stabilize. But you can do that and get 10-20 seconds off the clock, or 10-20% for you to win. I could see that. I could see a Ryan brawl, Ramatra brawl right here. I think we might see. We could see the May come out, May Reaper, Zarya come out. You can see even a Junkrat come out and just spam damage if they're coming down the hallway.
Oh yeah, I mean, I feel like Junkrat is something that is a character that is kind of slept on. I feel like in these kind of close spaces like New Junk City. But I think a character that does a slightly bit better might be Reaper, which is why we're seeing it get banned from the Dazzling Diamonds. And again, this kind of offhandedly mitigates that Zar and Reaper composition that can be so strong, which I think could have made an appearance here of all places for sure, right? But with Reaper out of the way, I still think that this is a missed opportunity to ban out Genji, and I think they are being confident in their own Genji, right? Maybe just need to revitalize the mental and figure out, this time we're going to do this, this, and this differently, so let's see what happens. Malga comes in for a ban from Tarnished. Why you ban my man like this? That's okay. No Malga, no Reaper. I like it. I like the bans.
Yeah, it makes sense because Maga can just trap everybody with his ult on a point, and it's like until the ult goes away, you're either shooting at a shield or you're in there fighting and nothing can get to you, and you're just taking massive damage. But it makes sense if Maga had the ult. Like I said, that's like one team. If it's 0-0, you start with that, you beat them with it. You just can't control the point. That's 10, 15, 20 seconds right off the clock. Like you're getting
Oh
that.
yeah.
So it makes sense. The one that like I'll say is like I've only seen Freya play a little bit, and I figured we see more flyers. Here we might see some flyers, but I would assume we're gonna see a Rhyme Ball maybe. Wu Young will probably get played right here. Both guys may try to go Genji again, but we shall see.
Well, Wooyoung is back online, right? So that's a big thing, a big up for Deathly Fox specifically, who did play Wooyoung to pretty good success on our peninsula. Voidbloom is back here, so she'll be here alongside Trix. So maybe we might see, you know what's really interesting to see? If we see a Zarya, Genji, and Tracer composition, right? So that might be coming to fruition from Dazzling Diamonds, what I think might be impactful. Having that a consistent 1 to 2 bubbles used on your Genji or your Reaper, your Zarya gets 40% and then 100% off of the 2 bubbles, and then boom, you walk down, beam down Yuri, call it a day, right? That's my idea. Hopefully it comes to fruition from Dazzling Diamonds because this is their last leg to stand on to not get 3-0'd. In fact, it's the start of them possibly getting a reverse sweep, right? But it all starts here on New Junk City Arena, the first submap to go towards before inevitably going to the other 4. Queen, a staple in New Junk City for good reason. This is her hometown advantage. Will it come into fruition for Delish? We will see versus Amnesia's Orisa.
Yeah. I could see the Tracer going around trying to get the Ana, if the Ana can sleep dart, would they take out Apollo. I see both tanks and I can see both Lucios just skating around each other, healing each other, speed boosting in and out of the fights and engagements. Both of them healing each other, throwing shields out, and the whole 9 yards. But I'm going to see the Genji plays.
Oh, but right when Trix was trying to get set up for that Genji play, he gets completely shut down pretty much immediately from Amnesia. Again, a menace of this on this Orisa, who is also able to get not 1 but other 2 eliminations under the board. So Dazzling Diamonds, they will be forced away from the point. It will go Tarnished first and foremost, and you know, wait, the point, guys. Thank you. With that being said, Tarnished are not gonna walk into enemy territory. Can they hold these guys in this nice long sight line?
I think they can, because the fact that Trix got picked off first, and there was just one right behind the other. Amnesia, if that's the case, Amnesia can, go up further with the Lucio. And Lucio, when he gets back, can speed boost back, and Ana can just, get in the backline and snipe and heal. But now the supports are down for Dazzling again. It looks like Tarnished is going to take advantage of this right here.
Yeah, what an early pick here from Tarnished. I mean, getting both supports at the same time is actually quite impressive, usually because the Kiriko and Lucio are more often than not working different sides, right? So skip with them early on is very, very good for Tarnished to continue to hold really up close against Dazzling Diamonds. And also Broshak taking out first, but the headshot kunai from Deathly Fox shuts down Apollo.
That was sexy. That was just across the map. You couldn't do anything about it. Solid pick by Deathly Fox and Apollo. But now you're at 86%, so you have a 5v4 advantage, and Apollo's slow to come back, as we talked about Ana's speed. This is your one chance to try to get a team fight win, try to get some momentum going, try to cap the first point, try to get something going.
I mean, they should be able to, only because, like you mentioned, Apollo is very slow to come back as an Ana. But if we're able to get the reversal quickly, again, onto Voidbloom, mitigating her use of the Pulse Bomb, and the Terrorster does clip everyone into it, but we all slide right back out. In the meantime, in the midst of the fight, the sneaky Reveroni flies daintily over to the objective and actually flips it in the middle of the team fight, giving Tarnished the first round in their favor.
Now it's one that the problem with the mixed engagement if you're Dazzling Diamonds is you got the team fight, you got some momentum. Now you're behind the 8 ball again. And Reveroni has ult as the Echo, so they could easily see back-to-back Genji blades. Which is probably something no support line wants to see.
at the very least, you're going to be able to shut down that duplicate, right? And Voidbloom comes in on the elimination onto the Echo. We also use the Pulse Bomb really early on. And now Voidbloom needs to really just get out of dodge immediately. And I think she will with relative ease. Some chasing being done onto the Tracer, but otherwise, Tarnished realized it's not worth it. Let's go back and wait to see the rest of Dazzling Diamonds are there walking from the spawn room. And they have Continued Rush. They also have the Blade online for tricks. Will it be enough, though? Broshak needs to be able to build up this sound barrier, or she's not gonna be able to at all. And with that being said, shout for the engage. The Kitsune Rush for the middle of the fight. Will it come into fruition as the sound barrier does get used? And the Nano from Tarnished. Is it gonna be good? Here's the Blade. 1, 2, 3. Sleep goes whiffed. Gets whipped onto Genji. The push does come to fruition, and Trix is definitely gonna get at least another little bit of eliminations in favor of Dazzling Diamonds.
That's right there. It's just a huge drawn out fight. Like it's just Voidbloom fell off the map or something, I'm assuming. But anyway, it's 52-0 right here, percentage-wise, and it's just back and forth. And Riveroni did pop the duplicate, and they got nothing out of it, which is huge for Dazzling Diamonds. But now they gotta try to do something. It's been contested, it's just more and more percentages going for Tarnished. Ella's just sitting on the ult. Anyone try to save it for the next engagement?
I think the next engagement was a little bit too messy because there was no real end of the fight into begin the fight. It kind of meshed into one, and on Flashpoint it sucks to do that because these points go by so quick, which is why you're saying Tarnished already on match point of not just New Junk City, but also of the match.
Yeah, like right here is both teams engaged. Both tanks have ults, and you gotta wonder if Dolo should try to just ult, do like 2 or 3 of them. Need to try to ult pull together, maybe a Genji dash. It's gonna be interesting to see what happens.
Oh, but these are the anti-nade combination with the Terror Surge. Very good neutral team fight, or fight in the neutral between Tarnished and Dazzling Diamonds, at least for Tarnished here. They get the Terror Surge out, they get a big boon for themselves, and there's a 3k, a humble 3k for Yuri, and now the point is going to be opening up for them and captured by Tarnished.
Right here, if I'm Dazzling Diamonds, I would have Voidbloom try to pulse bomb one of the supports or the Hana. And then I would try to harass down somebody like the Lucy or something, and then maybe have Dolish, Roshak, Deathly Fox try to go towards the tank, but I don't think it's working.
Here he comes in the Dragon Blade, and it's gonna be a fast one, right? Fast fight, fast regroup for Dazzling Diamonds is what the mental has to be. But on top of that, Voidbloom, before inevitably the fight gets lost, she does get the post onto Apollo. That's big, and like you mentioned, very slow-moving character. Maybe Voidbloom can also put pressure onto his Echo. The recall forced out early, so she might actually not be able to get back to the team in time. No blinks to be seen. No recall. No Lucio. Rampage used in the middle of the fight. We go for the duplicate onto the Queen here, getting rid of Deathly Fox. Will we also be able to build up a Rampage in that time? I don't think so, but the thought was there.
The thought was there, but it's more or less pop ult, try to kill as much time as possible, because now that was at what, 60-70%, now you're at 95-96%, and this is last team fight engagement. You gotta stay untouched if you're Dazzling Diamonds. If you can.
Oh wow. Oh wow. The Nano onto Riveroni and getting the Honing Beam on Voidbloom just as she was trying to blink onto the objective. I mean, very unfortunate positioning, just blinking into the Honing Beam, but otherwise, great stuff, not just from Tarnished, but also from from everybody, really. Tarnished being your winners, the 3-0 here, not just on Servasa. I keep saying Servasa. Not just on the Junk City, but also in Push on, on another peninsula. Very good showcase from these guys as we do see Dazzling Diamonds go down in the series. But again, there were some shining moments. It was not all for naught. It was very much just very entertaining. I think the closest was definitely Push, though. I think they did fantastic on, or at least they kept it more even for the first part of New Queen Street.
This is one of those, is go back with your coaches, go back with your captains, and redo the maps, just watch it, say, what could I have done better? What could have done this and that? Or it's like, if we would have banned these two characters, these two characters, what could have happened? It's just more or less go back to the drawing board, see where your mistakes were. Like, hey, maybe work on this character, get your mechanical skill up, like on the Jinx for Tricks versus Yuri. There's Yuri's Dragon Blade. Say, hey, watch what Yuri, watch his POV. and then try to emulate that in a game or in practice. And who knows, they can learn a lot. You can learn a lot more in defeat than you do in victory, so they can learn a lot from this 3-game series.
Oh, for sure. I do think that there is definitely so much learning to be done, and still have, of course. No one's perfect, so even Tarnished also had things to work on. Diamond's had things to work on, and that's a-okay. But we're gonna, as always, promise you guys an interview with one of the victors of the night. We'll go into a very quick break and see you on the side with a very special somebody from Tarnished. And we're back with an interview. We have Reveroni coming up on deck here. Reveroni, what a fantastic night. What a fantastic showing, not just from you, but the rest of your team here. What's it feeling like, after mid-season, coming back into the regular weeks of everything? What's the thrill feel like right now?
Hello. We're pretty excited. Was it before the match started? We did have a bit of a scuffle because half our roster had to show up for another league's playoff game. So we had some last minute, ask begging their friends so they could get on. So be able to 3-0 with them is, I'm really happy about it. I know my team's happy about it, and especially since we couldn't play in the mid-season tournament, coming back to the regular season, and starting off with 3-0 is definitely getting our spirits up. We're ready for next week.
What was your thought? What was your preparation like going to the game? Like, was there like a game plan you wanted to implement? Or was there a certain character or certain synergy you guys want to try to work on or play around in this match?
for this match, if you saw Apollo was on Ana the whole time, we kind of wanted to just try her out for a bit and experiment because Apollo is new to our roster and he has played with other players, with some of us in the past. So we're trying to figure out some ways to involve him and also get the gears running again for CGL.
I mean, Apollo has some pretty nasty nades too during first map into like everything else. I mean, even making it work on Flashpoint of all things, right? So, low-key, good little pickup. I see y'all. Okay. So, with that being said, I don't say it was a really good 3-0. Were there any troubles? Was there anything that you can think about that maybe was like, oh, that was a shock? Like, why was that so hard? Was there any sort of hiccups that we might have missed over on our end?
The only real hiccup I could think off the top of my head was probably the first fight on map 2, because I remember calling saying like, oh, they're amping towards us, guys, get ready, and my Lucio goes around the corner, just blows up, my other DPS just blows up, and then I'm just like, I just said they amped at us, and I just started running away from the venture. That's really about the only hiccup we ran into.
You said you called it out. Are you kind of the shot caller, or are your supports or tank really the shot caller, or did you just have to be like, hey, watch this?
Yeah, no, I'll just say watch this. The main shot caller is Pika. I've been playing with him for almost over a year now, and bro's brain is massive, and a lot of us play because we all like playing with that guy. So, and also Dementia as well, because he's our tank. So he sees more of the battlefield than we do.
No, for sure. Y'all all had generally a really big hand in the win today, right? So, honestly, with that being said, it was a little bit of a chiller day. Is there any team you're kind of looking forward to in the rest of the season to go up against, possibly?
I'm not too sure on on the next teams we're going against. We've been focusing on other leagues, so I have to get back to reviewing on that. I know there's one team in the regular season I think we're going against twice, so that's probably going to be our main target since we're going to be going against them back to back. So, I'm excited for that.
Okay, I see. I'm looking at your schedule right now. So you have 3 weeks left. You just got the nice win over here. Your next 3 weeks, you have Shiki no Kaiji Red, you have TKD, Rip Gang, and you have Sub Sun. So good luck on that. Also, by the way, 3 weeks left is crazy to think about. Yeah. I just
Okay, wait, now since you said the team we're going against, Sub Sun, definitely for sure, because ex-teammate Ruby is on that team.
Ooh!
And, they're also a solid group of folks. I know some of them from when I used to play console, so excited to see them again. I know some of the people on Tarnished wants a little fun revenge game against Ruby, since he was someone we played with a lot back 2 seasons ago on CGL, so that's gonna be exciting. So prepare for that one.
Oh, we will. I love a good story. I love a good little revenge match. So I'll be keeping my eyes open for that match. But either way, I'm gonna let you go. I'm gonna give you one last question. That being, who do you want to give a shout out to on the broadcast?
Just shout out you guys, of course, for spending your time with us, of course. Even we know it was scuffed at the start. Thank you for being patient with us, and shout out to Headrammer, of course, for setting up this whole thing. Shout out to my team and my girlfriend, probably also watching the stream because she likes to watch my games. So that's really about it. Thank you guys.
No problem. Have a wonderful night, and we'll see you guys next time for your next match.
Of course. See you guys. Bye-bye.
Aw, I love it. I love all of it. Always have, always will. So, with that being said, Big Sam, any final parting words before we end the broadcast?
As always, it was an honor and a privilege to be the color caster with you, Mr. Mott. Enjoyed it, and stay safe and make good decisions.
You heard that right here. There's more action coming up, of course, into the next couple of weeks. Please tune in from Wednesday to Sunday. We have a broadcast for EU and NA as much as you possibly try to get that done. So schedule your matches, or Fish is going to get you in your sleep. Otherwise, we'll see you guys next time for some more CGL Season 16 action. Have a good one, and we'll see you guys later in the week.